We're the hydradenitis super divas. If you've got HS, you'll want to meet us. It's not your fault, put the shame to a halt. HS divas know how to have a ball. The hydradenitis super divas.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Hydradenitis Super Divas. I am here with Brindley. I am so excited about today's episode because we're going to answer some things that y'all have been asking in my comment section or in my DMs. And so it's just going to be a really great episode. So first off, the main question of all time lately is, how do people get HS connected? Like, they see the stuff, they see the content, they see the information. What would you suggest they do first?
The first thing I would do would be to subscribe to HS Connect so that you can stay in the know about everything that's coming up, everything that we're doing. There are some very exciting things happening in the world of HS. This is going to be the year for HS. We have, been making headway. I don't know if you guys kind of have watched the growth of, for anybody who has psoriasis or eczema, how they went from no treatment options to now over a multitude of years have a bunch of treatment options, a bunch of clinical trials. They're in such a good place with so many different treatment options for their condition. That is our future. That is exactly where we are headed with HS, and it's so amazing. So we have a lot of stuff planned for this year. So definitely subscribe to HS Connect, and that will keep you in the know about all of the things that are to come.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. And I think a lot of you have aspiring advocacy goals. And I love that so much for you, because we need as many as we can get in this space. But I just want to give you a tip that will take you a long way, okay? Is the power of storytelling, okay? And your story has a multitude of little stories inside of it. And when we tell our HS story, we show the gaps that there is in the medical community, and we show the needs that we need to have met in the HS space. So telling your story may seem like a small thing to you because you lived it, right? But it's insightful and inspiring to the ones who resonate with that story. So I just want to encourage you to pick up the phone or pick up the mic or pick up the pencil if because I believe we have a plethora of artists and musicians. I mean,
Although
you're a magician.
You do make magic.
Let me see what you got. But like people who can make music, we have artists, we have people who can dance, people, you've lived life, you've done all of these things already. And there's somebody else younger, right? Because for so many of us, HS starts at that young age, and we start thinking we can't do what we were dreaming of doing because we have HS. But you're giving power to those young people who see you living out your passion, doing your dream job on social media or through your story. And so I just want to tell you that is what unlocked so many doors for me. I know we see social media and it's a highlight reel at the end of the day, you guys, but it was storytelling. It was me telling my story in a way that felt comfortable to me, first off, that was able to help me first, and at the end of the day began to help more people. And I think I didn't even realize the weight of it until I was coming to travel with Brindley to some of these things, and there were dermatologists, doctors who were watching my content. And that was when I realized the impact, because they were able to see HS on a real person, day to day what I was going through. And so you are different than me. We know HS is just not one size fits all. It looks different on different ethnicities, on different skin tones, all of these things. And so share your story so that way we can get more pieces to this damn mystery puzzle. Because that's the biggest help, first and foremost. We need that more than we need anything else. And then that unlocks those doors to maybe travel and tell your story in different audiences on different spectrums. So I just want to give people permission, because I think sometimes we think it's something that you have to buy, that you need the latest camera, or you need, these micro, like, you don't need anything but your voice to tell your story or to put it on paper or whatever it looks like for you. So I think that's the best way that we both started. You know, it's the connection. It's a connection to another warrior, you know, and you feel empowered in that moment to, like, it's a light bulb that goes off. And so I just want you guys to know it was something that didn't cost anything. It was absolutely free.
Well, and think about, like, for how long we've kept our secret about having HS, and then how much lighter you felt when you started sharing yours in the way that felt good to you and comfortable to you, and how many people found their light and their way based on your story.
Yeah.
So don't ever underestimate the impact that you may even not know you're having on other people, because not everyone is going to comment. People are just watching the way you carry yourself, watching the way you move, watching the way that you overcome hurdles and obstacles in your life that your HS may be throwing at you, but you are inspiring them to seek you out and learn how you are managing to do that. And I think that's a really, really important thing. And I think, you know, not everyone, there's a lot of ways to advocate, and it's not always, it doesn't look the same for everyone.
Right.
For some people, they want to be involved in advocating at a federal and state level for healthcare. For some people, it's just sharing your story. And neither one of those are better or worse or anything. They're both important. All of the ways of advocating are important. Doing support groups, attending support groups, being a support for someone else, even if it's one-on-one, is just as important as anything else that is being done in any other spectrum. So I think in some cases people think, like, oh, well, I am not invited to go to these big things. It's not all about the big things. And what people also don't understand is how much work is done behind the scenes for those big things to happen. And that there's a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of energy that's put into getting to that point. Where those big things are happening and where you're attending them. So our goal too is to make sure that we're offering additional information on places that people with HS can show up if they want to advocate, even if they want to just show up and be a part of what's happening. And so we're hoping to do some more of that this year as well.
I think that's going to be great. I think we're barely scratching the surface on community events in the HS world, which is really exciting, because I can only imagine, like, how it's going to grow from this space. It's really such an honor to be and get connected when I did. And so something about HS Connect and the resources and the website alone, you guys, if you go to the website, if you really dive in, you will be almost overwhelmed with the amount of factual information that is there, because that's a lot. There's a lot of misinformation going out about our disease. You know, wasn't enough research. There wasn't enough care about it for a long time. And so being able to have a trusted resource like HS Connect to go to as a dermatologist, as a patient, as a caregiver to the patient, or if you just know somebody who knows somebody, now you have insight on how to better help them through some situations. So HS Connect has been pivotal and like so amazing to my journey as a patient, and then the key piece I needed information-wise to be the advocate that I am today. So I thank Brindley so much for that. And I also know that this is a common question in my comment section, because a lot of people watching think that they have HS, but they're undiagnosed. So how do you know if what you're dealing with is HS? When should they go to the doctor?
If you're questioning if you have HS, you should go to a derm. So typically, if you've had 2 or more boil-like abscesses in the last 6 months or up to 1 year, is typically an indicator that you have HS. So if you, like I said, if you even think that you have HS, it's probably something you'd want to get checked out and see a dermatologist for an actual and accurate diagnosis. But most people know that they have it based on people sharing their journeys and sharing their stories and resonating with them. and seeing themselves in those people's journeys. So,
and I think it's not illegal to go to your doctor's appointment if you're not officially diagnosed and say, hey, I think I have HS.
Yes.
You know, like it's okay if they're not thinking about it, if they still think that you were dealing with some unknown disease, you know. But if you feel like you've been watching my content long enough and you think you have HS and you could put the name, like if your light bulb is going off, listen to your gut, listen to your, like, and the worst thing that they can say is like, no, then maybe find another doctor. I don't know.
Yeah, or if there's a good explanation as to why they're saying it's not HS, you know, then potentially, but absolutely. And this is part of learning how to advocate for yourself as a patient. You know, just because there's an MD or DO behind their name, it doesn't necessarily mean that they have all of the answers. And, you know, it's okay to question. It's okay to ask, obviously respectfully. But it's absolutely your right and your responsibility as a patient to ask those questions to make sure that you feel heard and validated and understood. So don't ever be afraid of asking, why do you think it's not HS? What is leading you to that?
Yeah.
And part of the thing I think too that is important in that is a lot of derms still have the misconceptions about HS are at the forefront for them. So, you know, it's, oh, well, because it doesn't appear in your armpits, your buttocks, underneath your breasts, or in your groin, then it is an HS. That's not necessarily true. HS can occur anywhere on the body there's a hair follicle, and you don't even have to actually see a hair for there to be a hair follicle there.
Right.
So that means anywhere on the body other than the soles of your feet, the palms of your hands, and the red part of your lips is susceptible to HS. So especially for men who get HS on their back, or even women who get HS on their back, taking that answer of it's not HS, don't do that lightly. Because we see a lot of people who have been treated for, you know, cystic acne or back acne, that they've had HS the entire time. So, you know, do some research. If you don't feel like that derm is the right person for you because you don't feel heard or validated in your experience, get out. You're not obligated to see that person. If you never show up again at their office, I promise you they won't know that you didn't come back.
Sadly.
So, yeah. So don't feel like, oh, well, I started treating with this person, I have to continue treating with them. Nope, you can out right now. And sometimes that's necessary in order to move forward in your care and to take care of yourself. So don't ever hesitate doing that.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I knew I would never go back to my old dermatologist who diagnosed me but only gave me no hope. But I love my new dermatologist, and then even when she moved to a different office, she was very quick to tell me, but everybody in my office is very well known with HS, so there's no worry, you know, like you're not going to be the new office guinea pig or lab rat or anything like that. So it's communication, it's really just advocating for yourself at the end of the day, you know, and taking the information. If you see online that you think that you may have HS, that's already enough information for you to make that doctor's appointment. And we know that that comes with a lot of anxiety sometimes because of different reasons. I know for a lot of people, the economy we live in, I know everybody doesn't have Medicaid insurance, or there's insurance barriers and there's financial barriers and there's things like that. But just try to make the appointment when you can, because that diagnosis unlocks kind of like the next part of your HS journey. Once you know and it's locked in and you can really start working on, now that I have a name for this, what do I want to do next? And I think that unlocks more questions. Absolutely. Like, is this, what are my triggers? What can I do to, you know, lessen anything, right? But the diagnosis is the first step, and it's the first step to helping the HS community as a whole, because the more people who are officially diagnosed, the more truer the numbers become, and the more we know who this is affecting and all of the logistics of research. So,
and the more people who we know that have HS, which is called prevalence, then the more we're able to move forward faster.
Yeah.
So the more people it affects, the more attention it gets. The more attention it gets, the more companies are interested in working on finding treatment options for it. So all of these things are really important. Still, standing up and being counted as part of that is important. And the way that that happens is getting a diagnosis, and making sure that you're standing up and being counted for that.
Absolutely. That takes courage to stand up. That's a nice campaign.
Yeah.
Stand up to HS. Okay. I'm telling you. No, I love it so much because I know that if it changed my life, that it can change somebody else's life. Getting diagnosis, getting in community, just the way you guys even show up in the comment section. I mean, I think that's very brave to comment on a video of a stranger and say, hey, I think that I have this too. Especially my real ones out there who have an actual profile picture and an actual name. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, Stephanie, I didn't know you had HS. It's really nice that I don't have to say user 91210. So like you're already taking steps and being really courageous and asking those just difficult questions. So I'm so proud of you guys all the time in the comment section and taking that next step to even DM me and say, hey, what do you think? What's the situation? You know, even just asking the advice, it's a big deal to me. And I don't take it lightly as a responsibility to be here for the community in this way. So I love you guys so much, and we will have more to come. We answered a lot of questions that you guys actually have been asking in previous podcast episodes, not in just season 4, but season 3, season 2, season 1.
Back to the beginning.
Go back to the start if you're just tuning in with us here, because we've covered a lot of juicy stuff.
And for people who are interested in being advocates, we do have on our website is a form that you can fill out, a Google form that asks us for some information about you. There is an HS 101 webinar that we ask you to watch, answer a couple of questions, and tell us a little bit about where you think you would like to fit in as an advocate. And we are undergoing a mentorship program that is working with advocates who are have experience in the space, and them taking people under their wing to train them up so that we can have as many knowledgeable experts as possible. That is a very, very important thing, because advocating can also be very dangerous.
It's so hard.
When it's in the wrong person's hands and when misinformation is being spread, that is how we keep our disease down. And we need to lift our disease up. So it's very important to make sure that we are spreading factual awareness. And that is exactly what our training program, and there's even a certification at the end of it, that is exactly what this program is built to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it comes with ongoing training, and it also comes with, kind of a Who Helps the Helper series.
Yeah.
And we have a WhatsApp group that's going to be created for all of those people as well. So if something comes up in your DMs that you wanted to ask your fellow advocates about, there's a safe place to do that too, because not all of us have the answers to everything. So asking other people for help that you know and trust and have had the same, training and education that you have on the disease is really important as well. So we want to make sure that advocates are supported also, because it is a really tough job and sometimes very thankless. So just making sure that everyone is supported. So if you're interested in doing that, go visit our website and complete that form. And then we have a whole process that you can go through after that.
Yes, I love that. And I just want to remind you guys that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And so that's basically what we're doing here. We're just trying to get as many people together as we can to spread the most factual information on HS that we can to help everybody else. So thank you guys for tuning into this episode. We hope we answered some of your questions, and we can't wait to see you on the next one.
Bye.